The number keeps rising and in many cases are missed because the early symptoms look harmless. So let's look at these clues, why they get minimized or brushed off by patients and doctors. Here, I will give you 5 real stories, and at the end, I will give you 5 take-home points. You eat well, you hit the gym 3 to 4 times a week. One morning, you notice a spot of blood on the toilet paper. You consult with Dr. Google. Most probably hemorrhoids. Benign usually resolves. You feel reassured and move on. A few weeks later, you see that spot of blood again. And also, your stomach feels a little bit bloated after meals. And the doctor's appointment keeps slipping down the to do list. 6 months pass before anyone checks properly. And by then, the cancer has walked, it has traveled. And this story is repeating across Australia. 20 years ago, bowel cancer under 50 was rare. Now, more than 2,000 Australians and also others worldwide in their 30s and 40s are diagnosed every year, and the number is still rising. Researchers are puzzled and are arguing about why. Is it the processed food, long hours sitting, changes in our gut bacteria, and blaming almost everything from vitamin D deficiency to COVID vaccines? And the danger is real right now. So let's start from the signs most of us know. First, blood in the stool or on the toilet paper. Bright red, rusty, or dark. Any shade counts if it keeps showing up. Second, an ongoing change in how you go to the toilet and open your bowels. Maybe it's just a little bit constipated. Maybe it's loose stools. Or maybe a shape of your stool has slimmed down to a pencil shape. Third, pain or cramping that refuses to settle even after you pass gas. 4. Weight loss that you can't explain. And the fifth, a tiredness that your favorite coffee can't touch. Those are the textbook alarms. The problem is, early cancers are most often quiet, whispers, rather than shout, like minor inconveniences. So next up, we have 5 real-life stories of people with these quiet symptoms. Constant bloating that ignores diet tweaks. Rushing to the toilet feeling you haven't finished after going. Only a dull ache. Only a dull ache in the lower back or pelvis that feels like period pain. A queasy stomach, perhaps. Loss of appetite with no clear reason. None of these alone scream to us it's cancer, which is why doctors and patients keep blaming stress, irritable bowel syndrome, or just hectic lifestyles. Meet Belinda, a 45-year-old screening nurse right here in Brisbane. She felt an urgent need to go to the toilet far more than usual, and her GP said, "It's probably stress. You're a nurse. You're too young for bowel cancer." But luckily, Belinda knew better. She pushed and pushed for a colonoscopy and still found stage 3 disease in her bowel and lymph nodes. Her medical training saved her life. Next, she's only 24 at the time, working in retail when she felt chronic bloating and stabbing belly pain every time she ate. So for 2 years, she bounced between doctors and kept hearing irritable bowel syndrome, girl problems, or food allergy. By the time someone finally ordered a scan, the cancer had spread to her liver. Then, a 31-year-old high school teacher in Adelaide who shared his journey on TikTok. Jake noticed an itchy bottom and brushed it off. Soon he was heading to the toilet 6 times a day, but everyone, including him, thought hemorrhoids. A second opinion showed tumors in both his colon and liver. Now he tells his followers, a colonoscopy felt like an overkill at my age, but overkill would have saved me a year earlier. The fourth person, 28, worked in marketing in Sydney. She started with everyday bloating. A dietitian put her on different diet plan. The bloating did not disappear. Months later, she was passing almost pure blood. She referred for a colonoscopy, but was marked as low risk because of her age, and she waited nearly 2 years for a colonoscopy. Unfortunately, by that time, her bowel was filled with tumor like a plug. Finally, a 32-year-old mum, also in Brisbane, she saw a single episode of blood in the stool. She felt fit and healthy and decided to watch and wait. Her next bleed came, and the cancer has spread to other parts of her body. If you put those stories together, you hear the same quieter signs: bloating that never settles, urgency that messes with daily life, the odd feeling that you're never quite done, pencil-thin stools, fatigue. So why do health professionals miss it? It's partly historical, it's partly habit. Most screening programs start at 50. The probability of common things like hemorrhoids or IBS, inflammatory bowel syndrome, do explain many gut complaints in younger people, and doctors are under pressure to move fast. But the statistics have shifted. Here's what I would say. If any gut symptoms lingers more than 2 or 3 weeks, whether it's blood, bloating, pain, urgent trips to the loo, book a checkup. If two symptoms show up together, bloating plus urgency or something else plus fatigue, ask directly, could this be cancer? A stool test is simple and looks for hidden blood, or a blood test for iron levels. If red flags keep coming, you need a colonoscopy. Early stage bowel cancer is very curable. Late stage is lifelong shadow. Good habits reduce risk, not wipe it out. The key is to listen to your own body and listen early. Finally, I will give you 5 takeaway points you can remember and share. First, blood in the loo is never normal for any age. Second, a sudden change in bowel habits that lasts beyond 2 weeks deserves a test, not brushed off. Third, bloating. Bloating that sticks around with toilet urgency or feeling of not emptying properly or fully can be the first clue of a low rectal tumor. Fourth, iron deficiency anemia without an obvious cause is a red flag even doctors cannot ignore. And fifth, if you have to convince a doctor you're worth a closer look, do it. Your life is worth the awkward conversation. I'm Dr. Chris Ho. Thanks for watching. Take care of your gut. And remember, early action beats early cancer every single time.